What's up, guys and gals? Welcome to the Extreme Nerd Table. If you guys don't know what this is, it's a little podcast that I do. We talk about a little bit of everything, a little bit of pop culture, a little bit of comic news, a little bit of everything. But I have Anthony with me. Here we go. What's up? What's up?
Ho, ho, ho. Is
Aha.
everybody having a holly jolly Sunday before Christmas? Hope's
Holly.
well.
I hope so. And then our other co-host is here, Randall. All right. What? How's it going?
Yo,
Hey,
Rando. Whoa,
He-
good.
He's actually.
We went back to the 16:9 format. That full frame 1993 format was not making us look good on that screen. We looked
Yeah,
we looked like some fucked up Brady Bunch.
all right. Before we before we get into the Spider-Man thing, before we get into anything, did you guys
Sure.
pick up anything? Read anything cool this week?
I did everything. Good. Age before
Right.
beauty.
Come on, Randall. So you're
No,
always
go
late.
ahead.
So
You
you're first.
started.
You're first
Okay.
today.
Well, I was gonna say I get stuff every week. I have a comic book business, so the answer is yes. I always have stuff.
Can
I
you
just don't
give
have
us
anything to show you?
Can you give us a nice preview of something coming out Tuesday that's in your pile?
It's in a box right now in the car,
Oh,
unpacked.
did anything come out last week as a retailer that you could share with us and say, look what came out?
I can go into the room real quick and grab a couple books.
Why don't
Go
you
ahead.
do that just to show people what came out this week as a retailer, maybe
Yeah.
what people wanted to order? And Cantonese comic kid Jeff, why don't you pull close on me while he gets up?
All right. You said
I'm
pull
gonna
close.
tell. I'm gonna boys and girls. I'm gonna tell you a story. This story is a tale of woe. I want to tell you, as a nerd, when you bargain bin or you pick up good deals somewhere, I want to show you good things to pick up that I got this week and the worst thing. Ready? All right. Now, good thing I picked up is this Deadpool Beginnings book.
Mm.
It's a Deadpool Omnibus, which retails for
100.
$100.
Mm-hmm.
My wife got it for me at Ollie's.
Ooh,
Guess how much she paid for
$5.
it? $2.99.
Dude, I need to hit a Bollies for Omnibus.
$2.99 for this Deadpool Beginnings. She also picked me up for $1
Ooh.
at a thrift store, Conan the Complete Quest, with Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer. Now,
Oh, okay.
I know you're saying that's not a big fucking deal. It's Conan, whatever you can. I didn't have the DVDs. I had a VHS copy of Conan the Barbarian. That's all I had. Had to like keep rewinding. Anyway, had to stop, be kind, and rewind. So again, really good deal for $1. The greatest deal ever for $2.99.
What that? Yeah.
Now, $100 book for $2.99. Now,
Yeah.
I have a tale of caution, a cautionary
boy.
tale. I went to the Dollar Tree today because I was doing some Christmas shopping and there happened to be a Dollar Tree. And I decided to look at the box of DVDs they had and Blu-rays and all kinds of stuff. They had a great DVD selection, Blu-ray selection, but the Dollar Tree where I am is now the $1.25 tree. They added a quarter to all their products. However, you know when you see indie movies, especially me, I see these sci-fi indie movies or comedies or action movies, and I'm like, you know what? They're never going to be in a movie theater. They're never going to be on HBO. They're like some podunk, shitty movie company, but they look cool and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I spent $1.25 that I'm never going to get back on this movie because I thought it was interesting. Chinese speaking vampires. Okay? The box makes it look interesting. The cover makes it look kind of cool. It's funny, it's horror, it's action. And for my co-host, Chinese speaking vampires.
Yeah.
When you get bit by the vampire, all of a sudden you can speak fluent Mandarin. Worst. I watched it while I was wrapping gifts this afternoon. Worst fucking movie I've ever bought in my life.
At least you only spent $1.25. So,
but I will never get that $1.25 back. But again, $2.99 on the Deadpool Beginnings Omnibus. All these comics in it, omnibus, $100 book, $2.99. So, my friends, family, women and children out there, and men too. Gay Superman. Be careful when you're hunting for thrifty items, because you could easily lose that $1.25 when you get lured in by Chinese speaking vampires.
That should be your YouTube video.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's it. I'm done.
All right. So what you got?
Ball drop.
All right. Let's see here. It looked like, honestly, kind of a light week. I know this is Anthony's favorite book right now, the Harley Quinn, the Eat Bang Kill Tour. Obviously, this is still, this is based off of the Harley Quinn animated series that's now on HBO Max. It was on DC Universe. Almost done. I think there's a couple issues left. This, I haven't heard too much on it, but anytime I hear, Becky Cloonan, a part of a series, especially if it's called Batgirls, I think it's going to be worth checking out. Looks like a fun comic to read. DC likes putting out these nice, expensive $10 one-shot books, it's basically a graphic novel if you really think about it. You see how thick it is. The bind, the way it's in. This actually has a few people. He worked on SNL. He worked on Saturday Night Live. Bobby Moynihan. You get to write a story. The very first story I was sold on, Alan Burnett and Paul Dini. These are two of the guys that worked on the Batman animated series, Superman animated series, Justice League. They wrote this story, and of course it has a Bruce Timm art style, but it's not Bruce Timm doing the art. But it looks good. Looks good. Looks clean. See Mr. Freeze there. So we got that. So just for that first story alone, I think it's worth picking up the book. This I got just because I like Kevin Eastman. If you know who Kevin Eastman is, you're a Ninja Turtles fan. He likes to do random variant covers, and he did this nice cover of The Thing from Kevin Eastman. Now I kind of almost want to see Ninja Turtles fighting The Thing. That would be fun. Donnie Cates, of course. Got to pick up the Hulk. It's a fun read. Ryan Otley's art. Great art. These I picked up just because I was intrigued by the classic Marvel style covers, but it's obviously the MCU version of the Eternals. So it's like an MCU variant covers. So picked those up just because they were fun looking. I haven't been reading the new Eternals series. And then last but not least, Robin and Batman #2, Jeff Lemire. It's a 3-issue series. Dustin Nguyen is doing like the art. So if you like his art style, get the little fun artsy right there. that's pretty much it. There wasn't a whole lot that like really, like these are the ones that really stood out the most for me for this past week.
Yeah, well, normally it was a bunch of Batman this week too, man. It was like 5 titles of Batman.
A bunch of Batman every week.
I'm just like I am what was it? I am Batman and all this other crap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, Batman sells. This is proof. You know, there are more Batman fans than there are all of the fans complaining about the Batman books. You know, until there are more fans that are outnumber the Batman fans, you won't see those changes.
But
you're always going to see
before we keep on talking, our other co-host has joined us, D, or AKA Simply Incredible Podcast.
Hey, what's up, Daryl?
What is up, yo?
Did you go see Spider-Man, or are you gonna like leave while we start talking spoilers?
Oh, you can spoil the crap out of it. I mean, by the time I see it when it goes streaming, everything will be out anyway. So okay.
It's not going to go streaming for unless you have stars.
We'll keep it light.
Yeah, we'll keep it light.
You can dish it all.
We'll keep it light. We'll keep it light.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, Daryl D, you got some things you got this week, didn't you?
I got some of this.
I saw some shit. I saw some shit on Instagram. Why don't you show it off?
This is the only thing I actually got this week.
Ooh, nice. Very nice.
Yeah. It works nicely with this.
Weren't you showing off a Marvel book, a classic book earlier today?
Oh, I mean, that's something I've had for a long time.
Oh, you just posted it today for no reason?
Yeah, I mean, Squirrel Girl, Squirrel Girl
okay.
Sunday.
Gotcha. She was in Spider-Man. She died.
It's clearly Squirrel Girl Sunday.
She died in Spider-Man Final Act. So
she got ran over by car.
She's killed Thanos. It's okay.
Now that comic that you showed off, that was the first Squirrel Girl.
Yeah.
Squirrel Girl was created by Steve Ditko. Did he work in that book?
I didn't know who created that character.
Well, Steve Ditko did. So I don't know if that's her first appearance.
That's her first appearance. So
okay.
Maybe it had a little Ditko up in it.
I want to know the number, how many it sold. By the way, that's my first spoiler in Spider-Man. Big ass credit when Spider-Man started. Spider-Man created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. Steve Ditko's name was huge on that.
That's good. I'm happy. I was happy about that, man.
Yeah. How about that surprise Stan Lee cameo?
All right, since you guys both showed off stuff, and D, you got anything? Was that the only thing you picked up this week?
That's the only thing I've gotten this week was that.
All right.
No, not that. It was that. And it's autographed by not one, not two, but 3 people.
Yep. I saw that. Amanda Connor, Adam Hughes, and I forgot. I couldn't see the other one.
Jimmy Palmiotti.
Yeah, okay, Jimmy.
I mean, you got to figure if Amanda signs it, Jimmy's going to be signing something too.
Yeah.
I don't remember him working on that book.
I think there's literally says it right there.
Hold on. You know his hi Aaliyah's in the chat.
Yo.
As we lovingly call him, hey Leah, how's it going? Leah.
All right. So I actually hung out with Steve, Bronze Age, and a couple other people today. But I'm gonna show off what I picked up, So show what I picked up this week, and then I'll show off what I picked up today. All right.
What'd you get?
Donny Cates issue 2 of Hulk.
Is that a hockey stick covering his face? What is that?
No. It's actually a helmet, and it's actually a helmet, and it's actually I think it's what's Thanos' brother's name? Star Fox. Star Fox is controlling them pretty much.
It looks like the Hulk is a Cylon warrior in Battlestar.
A little bit, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I picked up Vampirella Unholy.
Unholy.
I was worried you were going to show something without big breasticles.
I was created by sin. I was
That's a good looking
But
cover. Who did the art?
unholy.
Not sure.
Steve Ditko.
No.
No.
It's one of the Korean cover creators. It's not Art German. It's not
Wait. Did you say Korean cover
Wait,
creators?
there's more than one?
Yeah.
The KCC. It was one of the KCC that did it.
Yeah. Well, it says KY on there. KY Chili created it. Oh, and then we got Sheena.
Another Spider-Man homage
Jesus,
cover.
Are you serious? Another one?
Another one.
It's just ridiculous.
Contortionist Sheena.
Yeah. And then Gun Honey.
Gun Honey. Look at that. Yep. Look at that steering wheel. All that's between those nipples and us is that steering wheel. In fact, she's steering it with the nipples.
Yeah. And then we got on the Perillo Unholy cover.
Another Unholy.
Mm-hmm. And then we picked up this one. I picked up this one.
Cloaked.
It's pretty much
Cloaked.
African American Batman and African American Robin. That's pretty.
They really went all out with those logos on their chest.
And then I picked up a Red Sonja, black, white, and red.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep, these were the reads I picked up this week, and then what I picked up for hanging out with Steve and everybody. I picked up this nice foil edition of Vampirella versus Lady Death.
She's choking her out, man.
Yeah, from early '90s.
Choking her out.
Yep, and it's actually I got to get a clear board for it, so because it's actually a wraparound cover.
They sell clear boards.
Oh,
yeah.
Been for a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
Where you been?
Yeah, and then
with a box of unbagged comics in my office.
Yeah, but can you see the back
we got some Michael Linsner there. Little Dawn, a little Cry of Dawn, a little Joseph Michael Linsner.
But the funny thing is about this issue, it actually has staple rust on the book, and it's a modern book. So
was that before 9/11 or after? Is that on fire? I can't see.
That was after, I believe.
Yeah, after.
All right.
It's on fire. Yeah, but I'm surprised.
Fire on the wrong part though.
Yeah, but I'm surprised to see staple rust on it.
Yeah.
On a modern book, pretty much. So it's interesting.
It was left out in the rain.
Look, yeah, because if you actually look closer, well, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, but yeah, there's staple rust all over that.
You know what? You pay good money for that.
Yeah, those are vintage staples, man. Appreciate it.
And then I picked up some Eva Ernie ash cans.
Oh, you said ash can. I thought you said something else.
Stephen Hughes, man. Stephen Hughes.
Yep. And then I picked up the Eva Ernie Ashcan Wizard that actually has Lady Death in it. So yeah, it was pretty cool. And then I picked up the Heavy Metal with Frank Frazetta.
That is an awesome cover.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I've been looking for this one for a little bit.
That's Frank Frazetta as Prince Namor.
Dude, yeah, he could have played. I honestly think he could have played Namor if he wanted to back then. And then I actually got a gift from Steve and his wife. So
wait a minute, Steve gives out gifts? That doesn't sound like Steve.
Look at that.
Does.
Yeah.
That's
so
all Steve does.
She looks like she's eating her swimsuit.
Yeah. It was too much.
Yeah.
She's actually eating a big Twizzler.
and it's dripping. Yeah, but that's pretty much what I
sure is.
Yeah. Pretty much what I picked up this week. So
it's like those old fruit roll-ups.
That's what I meant to say. A big fruit roll-up.
Yeah, so that's what I picked up this week. Oh, yeah, D showing off some more books.
You are right. That is the first appearance. But it is.
And,
She was created by Steve Ditko in there.
Yes, the writer was of
Some
this
Murray.
Scott Lobdell.
Really?
Lobdell.
There was a guy who worked on it named Will Murray. He's the co-creator.
Yes.
Oh, and then have you guys?
The artist in this is one of my favorite artists. Really, true story.
Amanda Connor.
I really like Eric Larson, especially on his Spider-Man stuff.
Oh yeah, I like Eric Larson's Spider-Man.
But have you guys been checking out like Instagram and stuff, and like where actually Perez has been going to like shops and around like all over Florida, almost surprising people. Like he actually showed up to a shop and actually took pictures with them.
He didn't come to my LC. Oh wait, I don't have one.
No, but I'm just saying. And then he went to like a little con that was happening in Orlando this weekend, and like people actually saw him and actually took pictures. But he already said he was going to go out and and visit fans and
because he was in the house. He was in the house worried about COVID, and now he's like, "Fuck it, who cares?"
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, but it was really cool just to see him out and about and actually taking pictures with fans and stuff. It's actually nice to actually see that, man. So
it'd be really cool, like someone like made like a sleigh, right? And then they like George Perez was like wearing like one of those Christmas hats, and he's going around the comic book stores like just on a sleigh, like waving at people and going into the stores, doing some quick signings, and he's like, "Merry Christmas, everybody."
Dude, I would not want to be him right now. If he was gonna schedule a signing, dude, imagine how many people are gonna be in that line just to get his signature because of knowing he's gonna pet. You know what I mean?
Not how many people, but think of how many speculators are going to show up with crates of comics,
right?
And they're going to be like, "Can you sign my 2,000 pile of 2,000 comics real quick? These are the ones I plan to sell next year," and they're like, "No, get the hell out of here."
Those are people that lie about it. They're like, "Here, will you sign these 50 copies? I'm a collector. I don't sell anything."
But the thing is he's signed so much over the years that his signature is not worth that much, even upon his God forbid he dies in a year. Yeah. His shit's not going to be worth that much.
Yeah, I understand that. I'm just saying, just imagine if he actually scheduled something to say, "Hey, I'm going to be signing here." Imagine how many speculators and how many people are going to be in line just to get him to sign stuff.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I mean, Stan Lee signed so much stuff that I think he may still be signing stuff. It's insane how much he signed.
You know what we should look for Stan is rare stuff that's not comic books that he signed.
Yeah, the worst thing I ever saw someone sign was I was at a baseball game and somebody asked, it was a minor league single A team down here, and somebody's like, "Hey, will you sign my Coca-Cola cup?" I was like,
"Well, that's
a baseball."
And to be fair,
you sign my box of condoms.
So, to be fair, the best collector,
them, so they'll be sealed.
The best collector on the panel is Randall. I mean, he has like the guy from Cheers signing random issues of Superman that he didn't write or had nothing to do with, shit like that.
One of a kind.
And Jeff, when he met George Perez at that fetish con, he had him sign a whole bunch of butt plugs.
I thought they were dildos, but okay, I missed it. He signed it and it kept vibrating for some reason.
It's the same. It just goes in a different
letter. He put one letter of each of George's name, each letter of George's name on individual
butt plug.
Beads, right? On those beads that you pull out,
they're called anal beads or Benoit beads. So my mother's told me when she read.
You know what I like is
how
Randall was trying to say it like he didn't really know.
In fact, I think that's a new artist for Marvel. He does covers. His name is Benoit Ball.
And did you guys see the news about Netflix picking up God Country to actually create either a TV series? Yeah, I thought it was going to be a TV series or something. I read the article. It looked like it.
I mean, they could change it to a TV series if they want to, but last time I heard about God Country, I remember hearing Donny Cates was actually writing the script and it was supposed to be for a movie.
Didn't he write the script a long time ago, and they were called comic books?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. But he wrote.
It's like he got panels already done for him. So.
Yeah, the storyboards are finished.
Yeah.
He owns God Country, right? So he can do whatever he wants with it. So,
but he wrote it. Yeah, but they actually got the showrunner.
Someone buys it, then he can't.
Yeah, God Country, butt plug.
I mean, if they want, I think a lot of times there's contracts. So they say, hey, we want the rights. We want to do God Country. Like, okay, well, I'll sign for you guys to do the rights on one condition. You put in the contract that I get to write the first draft of the script.
He wrote it. He wrote it, but I'm saying he has that they actually hired the guy. No, but Netflix hired the Sweet Tooth, the guy that created Sweet Tooth on Netflix. They actually hired him to direct it, I think. What I was reading the article, So I'm interested to see how he's gonna, because the Sweet Tooth one was interesting. Don't get me wrong, the how he did it, but I'm curious to see how he's gonna do.
The show was good. I really liked it. I mean, there was parts of it that were slow and they dragged, because it's all building up the characters on the show, but it got really good at the end.
I'm honestly
I just want to see him flipping out on somebody toward the beginning when he's got the mental problems there, the dementia and stuff. I just want to see him just totally flipping out on somebody, and then at some point he gets his big ass sword. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
spoilers, man. I haven't read the story yet.
But who are you expecting to play the grandfather or whatever, the guy that has the dementia? Who do you guys want?
I want to see J.K. Simmons play him.
That'd be kind of cool.
And get all ripped again like he was.
Tom Hanks.
Chloe Grace Moretz, is that what you said?
Tom Hanks.
Yeah, Chloe Grace. Come on.
Well, yeah. Well, we can have.
How about Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's old.
He's
crazy. He can hold a big sword.
You can get Stallone.
I know that Sylvester Stallone is doing a superhero type movie, but it's like an original film. It's not. I don't think it's based off of a comic book or anything like that. But he's playing like an old, like retired superhero. That's supposed to be coming out. It's called like The Good Samaritan, I think, or something like that. It's supposed to be
called The Comedian. It's called The Comedian. That's what it is.
It's Stop Where My Mom Will Shoot Too. It's really the sequel to that. That's what it was.
That's Human Juice.
Yeah, but honestly, I'm excited to see where it's gonna go. You know what I mean? What Netflix gonna do with it? I'm honestly excited to see because one of my favorite comics.
Maybe they'll do one season of it and cancel it, just like they did with what's that show that they just came out with?
Jupiter's Legacy. That's what
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah.
Jupiter's Legacy. Mm-hmm. Unless you got a Disney logo or Marvel logo on it, shit on TV streaming services are not going to stick.
Nope.
Unless you're watching The Witcher or something, or Stranger Things, which is a whole other niche of audience.
Yeah. And then Lock and Key, because Lock and Key got a third season. So
Lock and Key, I said, is a niche horror fantasy. This superhero shit's getting old on TV. It's just and Jupiter's Legacy, I think we all talked about. It was bad timing because you had it looked like
bad timing.
It looked like it's the Eternals and Superman and the Invincible and the Boys. It's just like a knockoff of all those things.
All three
that everyone already knows about.
Yeah, and what I'm worried about is God Country's gonna get compared to freaking Eternals, because don't forget some of that stuff. That happens, it's like gods and stuff like that. So
can I make a non-oven mitt hot take?
Yeah,
I don't think God Country is gonna work on the screen.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
I really don't. I think almost every indie title like that doesn't work on the screen. I just think it should be a comic book. It's a great comic book. It's only like a 6-issue series. Just leave it the fuck alone.
Right.
It's just I just don't think it works. I really don't. It's too psychological.
I think you've been possessed by Ebenezer Alan Moore.
No,
He's
that's not
He's
true.
like, Watchmen should never be made into a movie or a TV show.
First of all, you know what? Alan Moore never saw The Watchmen because The Watchmen movie is his book from page 1 to the end, and he just switched out the giant squid for a bomb. That's it. It's the same fucking. It's like the dialogue's exact. He didn't change anything.
No, that's not true. That's not true because like one of my favorite part in the comic book, they did not do. They flipped it. They switched it, and it's when Rorschach, when he's doing the flashback, and he finds like the guy that killed the child,
right, with the dog.
Yeah. When Rorschach killed the guy with the cleaver, I was so fucking disappointed. I was like, no, I was completely related to Rorschach in the comic book when he stood there he chained the guy up, he lit the house on fire, and he stood outside the house, watched the house burn.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Well, I mean, if you haven't read it and you haven't watched it.
Years. But no, it's still like to me, that was the best and my favorite part of the entire Watchmen comic, and it wasn't even in the movie.
Wow.
I was like,
you need to get out more. That was a big ass comic. And by the way, Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons, it's like they didn't know how to end the comic and they made it up, and it's the ending's poo poo. Anyway, my point is, and by the way, as it was coming out, it was like Doomsday Clock in every Tom King book. There were big delays. There were months skipped. And then it came out and everybody was like, this ending sucks, but it's a good comic. It's a good deconstruction. But whatever. You know what? But yeah, I'll say it again. God Country, I read it 5 times, have it on the shelf there. I still think it works better as in the medium of comics, and leave it alone. You know, Donnie Cates, make a redneck movie or something. I don't know.
Redneck. Well, the way it's going, redneck.
Wait. Why do you think redneck will work, but God Country did not?
I don't. It was a satirical comment.
We got to pump the brakes just a smidge there.
Because redneck, 60% or maybe more of the country right now will run out to see that immediately.
Well, I mean, in my area, everybody will, because they're all a bunch of damn rednecks.
Well, and we're in Florida, so what are you talking about?
Because it was like vampires.
These colors don't run.
Right. Is redneck just like... I've never read redneck. Is redneck just like True Blood?
We don't suck at the bloodeth.
Yes, it is. It's hillbilly True Blood.
I think True Blood is hillbilly True Blood.
No, well, it's this is way more. It's Texas hillbilly True Blood.
Instead of Louisiana, it's Texas.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
no gumbo.
We got to make a new one called Hillbilly and make it about Florida vampires.
Oh, you can call it Hellbilly.
Ooh. Okay.
Could be a demon growing up in the South.
Or how about Hialeah Billy?
You know what? I think this is actually how Cryptozoic Man became a thing.
This is how all the Star Wars writers come up with ideas.
Yeah. Hey, make this chick that can sing, but has like a really long mouth.
Yeah, the ultimate crossover. Hellbilly versus Hellboy.
Or Cryptozoic Man versus Hellboy.
Anybody watching The Witcher?
I still haven't seen the first season. I'm not gonna get Netflix until January. Got to get it for that Cobra Kai.
All right. Matrix comes out this week.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
You guys
on HBO.
Now, is it Matrix 4 or is it John Wick 3? I don't know what I'm watching.
Oh, give it a chance. It's not John Wick 3
because John Wick 3 exists.
Just because he's got a beard.
Okay, whatever it is.
Just because he's got a beard doesn't mean it's invalid.
The same damn thing.
It's Matrix Resurrections.
It's the Lake House 2.
Whatever.
It's the Lake House 2.
It's Matrix.
It's on your HBO Max the 22nd for free. So just watch it.
I'm okay without it.
So we can talk.
You know what? They should make a romantic sci-fi comedy, right? And it's like the Matrix meets like a combination of all the Hallmark.
God,
Randall is just over here making movie after movie after movie.
Yeah,
It's like there's like 6 movies already. I've only been
I,
like 3
no, what I thought Anthony said. I thought Anthony said "Cod
and it's
Dungeon."
all brought
That's
to
what
you by Celsius.
I just
Tropical Vibe.
I just sent a screenplay with credits to Hialeah for Blackface Panther 2, starring Robert Downey Jr. in the leading role with Jack Black now playing Shuri.
Oh, so The Matrix is coming out this Wednesday, but more importantly, I want to give a shout out to The Kingsman. Kingsman is also coming out on Wednesday.
Fuck the
I
Kingsman.
hope to watch both those movies this upcoming week.
Who
Did you
cares?
say Matrix is coming out next month?
No, Wednesday.
Oh, was it this
Wednesday.
week?
Yeah.
22nd.
3 days from now.
Yeah.
So-
It'll be streaming when?
Wednesday.
The Matrix?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Matrix actually be streaming?
Yes, it's coming out on
correct.
HBO Max.
Oh, I thought it was going to be. Like
No, it's
in
coming
those
out. It's coming out
rooms
just like Dune.
where you have
They
to,
were
like,
really
go
stupid.
on.
They really should have thought about that because they could have made a lot of money, and they're not gonna.
Dope.
Matrix Doom.
But
Well,
they're
you know what's funny? These companies, even when they lose money, they make money.
They
Yeah,
have some
so-
sort of licensing. They paid, whoever
But
whoever put up money for the movie. HBO is compensating them, no doubt.
there's all these loopholes where they get to basically write off losses and they make their money back. They
Right,
have like all these
but
corporate lawyers.
but the Lana Wachowski has a lot of wigs to buy. She really needs that money. So
She still gets paid.
Yeah.
She still gets paid. It's
I
Warner
know.
Brothers. That's like, we need our money.
Warner Brothers.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
speaking of brothers,
Mhm.
I'm not talking about the Wachowskis anymore. The sisters now. So let's dive into Spider-Man without spoiling
Mm.
the deaths and non-deaths and things like that. Let's talk about what we saw in the trailers,
Mhm.
and let's give our
Okay.
our overall ratings of the movie, or whatever.
I will say one thing, and it's not really a spoiler. Not really.
He always says that, and he spoils the hell out of it.
Uncle Ben still doesn't exist in the MCU.
No, there is no Uncle Ben.
Right.
Aunt May is a single woman. They never said she was married. Never.
Well,
Talk
no,
about her
actually
being
they
married.
do. They do.
She just
They actually
happens
do.
to be the sister of Peter Parker's parents.
Hmm.
That's it.
No,
I
but they
really
actually,
want her
I thought they
to-
brought it up in the first one. I thought they brought Ben up in the first one. I
They
thought.
hinted.
She talked about the death of the Peter's parents, but she didn't talk about Uncle Ben.
Oh, okay, okay.
There's
I-
never
I
been an
want
Uncle Ben.
them to show her cooking, and she is making some rice.
Uncle Ben's rice. That's
Uncle
right.
Ben's rice.
And Aunt Jemima syrup too in the
There you
counter.
She dated Iron Man's director.
Mm.
And hey, let's anybody watching the broadcast right now,
Or on the rewind. Hey,
Or on
it's
the
spoiler
rewind.
alert.
this is a spoiler alert. Spoiler, okay?
Mm.
I liked
Oh,
when
sorry.
Happy
I didn't realize this meant spoiler.
I liked when Happy was sitting next to Daredevil at the kitchen table.
Oh yeah.
Because
Mhm.
hey, any old school Fox, Sony, Paramount, whatever company MCU fan knows, Happy
Foggy.
was Foggy Nelson in the Daredevil movie.
Mhm.
And he was sitting there with Matt Murdock, who not only did we call him Matt Murdock, but we actually saw him use his powers briefly. Let's get over specifics. Jeff, what did you think of the film?
I enjoyed it. I think it's one of the top ones. Like actually one of my top Spider-Man movies. It's probably like it's the number 2 at least on mine. It's Spider-Man 2, that one, and then it's Spider-Verse, the animated series.
And I
So,
have another question. As
Hmm?
a man,
Hmm?
you ain't too proud to show your sensitive side.
I cried.
Did you shed a tear in the film?
Yep,
Yep. How many times?
couple of times.
Yeah. I wept 3 times, and my 12-year-old son sitting next to me laughed his ass off at me. But there were 3 times in the film where I shed a tear, and because it was so sad and so heartbreaking. And by the way,
that's why I say it's a good movie, because it actually does all the emotions. You know, what
everyone
I mean?
can talk about all the villains, and there was like 6 of them. They could talk about all the 5 of them. They could talk about all the great dialogue. They can talk about the break. They could talk about cracking backs all day long.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. With all the guest stars in the movie, who, by the way, had a shitload of screen time, way more screen time than I thought they were going to have. All of them.
Yeah.
Guess who the star of that movie was? Fucking Tom Holland's performance of Spider-Man was unbelievable. Daryl, who didn't see the movie, who didn't see the movie, Tom Holland's Peter Parker got the shit beat out of him emotionally, physically, spiritually, the entire film. And he was, both his acting and the character's arc was fucking resilient. Randall, you go ahead and speak, but again, don't allude to the spells that were cast so that we don't spoil the ending of the movie.
Oh yeah.
And the identity stuff and all that. No, really, Daryl, spoiler. We can tell you that all the other Spider-Men are in the film, but we're not going to tell you how the movie ends or the implications of the way the movie ended far outreached the 15 and almost 20 minutes almost in the film that featured Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And they were spectacular and amazing. Puns intended. But the way the movie ended was fucking a shocker. And that was no pun intended. The shocker was not in the movie. No, not that dirty shocker. I meant the shocker with the so gross, man. Anyway, go ahead, Randall. What do you think?
So I saw the movie twice.
What?
I saw it Thursday night because I didn't want to get spoiled, and then I saw it Friday with my buddy, which I had a better experience watching it the second time because the night I went to go see it, the sound system was shit. The voices were in and out, and so like the audio was not coming in clear. The screen, the visuals was okay. So, anyways, saw it and I enjoyed the film. And after watching it a couple times and really reflecting and thinking about what the film put out there, it really got me thinking that John Watts truly proved that the MCU Spider-Man is the worst live-action Spider-Man. Still a good film. Acting was fantastic. Directing was good. But the way that they've written the character, the way we see the MCU Spider-Man in the MCU clearly shows that he is not the best Spider-Man.
Okay. You know what? You bring up a good point.
And
you bring up a good point because those other 2 Spider-Men that came in, and all the villains, if they weren't there, that movie would have sucked ass.
Yeah, it would have.
It would have just been Tom Holland playing with Iron Man's toys.
And so, and let me point out too that the true villain of the film, that person's performance was the best performance out of every person in that movie.
The true villain of the film was Peter Parker.
No, the true villain of the film was, the one who did the most damage, I think.
It's the Green Goblin. You're talking about the Green Goblin.
Yeah, Green Goblin.
But Peter Parker was the main villain.
He totally messed up big time. When you think of all of
he caused all of it. Right.
Yeah. But I mean, again, it just shows and proves to you that he's still a kid, and kids are gonna make mistakes. And he didn't know any better. And he has a lot of growing up to do. And you feel that at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Growing up that he's going to have to go through and become, who he is in the future. The ramifications of his choices and decisions. But anyways, Willem Dafoe, how funny is this? The best Spider-Man villain, story-wise, performance, the best villain of this trilogy isn't even from the MCU.
Yeah.
The best villain and performance comes from what's considered the best Spider-Man trilogy.
Can I ask everybody, what is this MCU canon idea is so retarded in a way, because how people say, oh, well, S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't canon, and the Daredevil and the Jessica Jones and stuff isn't canon. Not. Guys, all it is like whose name was on the letterhead on the page. Right. The whole storyline of Daredevil and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, every episode they talked about the Battle of New York.
Yeah.
So this MCU thing, all this shit started when Disney took over. Before that, honestly, Marvel movie was a Marvel movie. It didn't matter. And they did allude to different things. In my opinion, the first MCU film is still Howard the Duck. Whatever. Yeah. I mean, the MCU, the idea of MCU or DCEU is just a bunch of horse shit, because you get rid of Zack Snyder. Well, all his characters that he cast, Wonder Woman and Shazam and Aquaman, they're still moving forward. It's the point is that the thing is with the MCU, I always anything with a Marvel logo on it, I just consider it's a canon. And when they do 3 films or 2 films in Garfield situation, they just reboot, because, by the way, I think shit's just not working. It's like, and isn't it ironic? The next Doctor Strange movie is directed by Sam Raimi. And this guy Watts, who just did the last 3 Spider-Man movies, he's doing the Fantastic Four movie.
Yep.
So it's, who cares? I mean, but you do make a point, Randall. You make a valid point, which, by the way, hot take, you will rarely hear me say that. Randall is correct. I think that Tom Holland has been the worst Spider-Man,
or the weakest.
Except by the way, in Civil War, I thought he was utilized fantastic for his debut. But honestly, the Spider-Man movies, it's like the first 2 were just warm-ups for this one. And if that was their plan all along, to bring in all the Sam Raimi and Andrew Garfield era villains and heroes, I give you applause, because you fucking knocked it out of the park with this one. And Randall, what's your ranking of this movie? Not in MCU films or whatever that means, but just in the 9 Spider-Man films,
or the 9 Spider-Man films,
or the 9, including Into the Spider-Verse.
I'm going to probably put it at 3rd or 4th.
There you go. Figures. Yep.
Yeah. 3rd
with
or 4th.
Spider-Man 2 coming in at number 1.
Spider-Man 2 coming in at number 1. I know a lot of people want to say Into the Spider-Verse. I feel like the reason so many people say Into the Spider-Verse is number 1 is because it's a number of reasons. One, it's an animated film, so they're able to do a lot of, they're able to do a lot more with animation than a live action movie, right? We got to see a whole bunch of different Spider characters. It was a great storyline, great voice acting. The problem I have with the film is that you're going to tell me the best Spider-Man movie is the one without quote unquote Peter Parker.
No one asked you what was wrong with it. We were just wanting to know your ranking.
Sure. But I'm explaining why, like, you know, because I've noticed a trend that everybody is like Into the Spider-Verse, number one. Why is it number one? You know, people never say why it's number one. They're just saying it because everyone else is saying it's number one. You know, and or they're saying it's number one because it's their favorite. You know, that's the only other option. You know, so that's why I'm saying it's not my number one pick. Spider-Man 2 is my number one pick.
It's not my number one pick either. It's not even my number 2 pick. It's my number 3 pick.
Yeah.
My first pick would be Spider-Man 2 still.
Mm-hmm.
My second pick would be Into the Spider-Verse with the Miles Morales and Spider-Ham.
Yeah.
And then my third favorite is this film. My fourth favorite, believe it or not, not Spider-Man 1 or 3 with Sam Raimi, but the first Andrew Garfield movie. And then I round out with the Raimi movies and then the Garfield. Anyway, yes, Daryl.
My favorite Spider-Man was the
Electric Company.
The MTV series, the animated series. I thought that was freaking amazing.
Okay.
Which is based off of the Sam Raimi trilogy.
Which is freaking amazing.
What about you, Jeffrey?
Neil Patrick Harris killed it.
Like I said, I honestly think it's number 2 on the list, but I mean it's still better than 3 on Raimi's end, you know what I mean? But but Spider-Verse, it's honestly it's sitting on that Spider-Verse, and that one is sitting at the same spot, you know what I mean? It's honestly sitting at the same spot because it honestly pulls at all your emotions, you know what I mean? It doesn't just same thing with 2. It's like if it gets you, you know, excited for it, and then it gets you, you know.
Into Spider-Verse made me cry too, and I'm sitting there crying in a fucking animated movie, and Bambi's mom isn't getting killed. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
I do want to say this too, and I want to point this out to Anthony because we mentioned before we talked about Shang-Chi. And there's a plot device, right? There's a plot issue with the Shang-Chi movie, and it is literally the same issue I have with this Spider-Man movie.
It's called the MCU formula. That's what it is.
I don't have oven mitts, so I'm wearing these gloves. Spider-Man 3 is not a bad movie.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's a very enjoyable movie. It's got parts in it that is absolutely ridiculous, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
right.
To me, I mean, the crap that movie gets. Come on. Jeez.
No, I don't get it either. And looking back at it, after watching the first 2 Tom Holland movies, and even after the second Garfield movie, I was like, I wish there was a 4th, 5th, and 6th Sam Raimi movies. I don't care how many villains are in there. And spoiler, Sandman's in the movie a lot more than I thought it was going to be, and he's great.
Yep.
And Sandman in 3, I thought was absolutely phenomenal.
And by the way, the Venom thing
was not very good.
Wasn't the Venom thing and the Eddie Brock thing? Mm-hmm. I don't think Venom is as bad as everybody says in the third movie. It's Eddie Brock that's bad in the movie. The way they treated the storyline. The way they introduced Gwen Stacy is just, you know, this person that like he met
they
in
just
class.
threw in there.
Yeah, that was the problem. But
I think the issue that I had with Sam Raimi doing it's smart, but it didn't work out in his favor. Like when you're a director and you're making a movie, you're not even thinking that you're going to do the sequel. You're thinking every time you direct this movie, this is your last chance. So when you're going to finish, when you make this movie, one and done, you know. Yeah. So he's gonna make the film. He's gonna put stuff in the film where he's like, okay, you know, if this is my last Spider-Man film that I'm making, this is how I'm going to do it, and then walk away. Versus where obviously one of the great things about the MCU is having those after credit scenes, having sort of a to be continued, or so and so will return in so and so next film. There's always this continuation of the universe. We get it from the TV shows now. We're getting it with the movies. So that's the good thing, So, but before the MCU existed, when Sam Raimi was doing it, I understood like the closest he came to like to be continued was what he did with Harry Osborn in the second film,
Hey,
and it left you like excited for the third film.
Hey, zoom in for a minute. I'm going to tell you what happened with Spider-Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man 1 made a shitload of money. Spider-Man 2, I think, even made more money. And even, did you guys ever see Entourage when it was on HBO? They were talking about when they came out with, ironically, an Aquaman movie. They were trying to say, oh, is it going to make as much as Spider-Man? I want to show you something. This is like 2007. I was living in New York. This was in my pile of comics the other day. Got the Initiative, Ms. Marvel, 2007, right? Inside cover, Spider-Man 3 PlayStation ad. Back cover, Spider-Man 3 toys. There are 6 other advertisements by different companies. Kraft Macaroni and Cheese, Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everything was about cross-marketing, which doesn't stop now either, and you can zoom me out. But it's funny you say that. That's what happened with Spider-Man 3 with Raimi. All they saw was Happy Meals being sold, and they actually kind of forced Raimi to put Venom in there. He didn't want, from what I hear, he didn't want to put Venom in there.
No,
he didn't understand Venom.
Right.
Even what's the actor's name that played Venom? Topher Grace. Topher Grace in an interview said that while filming a scene, because Topher Grace is actually, he's read the comics, he's familiar with Venom.
Sure.
And so after the scene was done, he would go over to Sam and say, listen, I don't think this scene works. This is what Eddie Brock would do. This is what I think Venom would do. And so Sam would be like, okay, let's shoot it again. So had it not been for Topher Grace, Venom probably would have been even worse if you think about it, like because he actually understood the character.
By the way, Topher is a horrible name.
And by the way, that's my complaint. Topher should have been in the movie because he kind of fit the criteria of the people that came in.
Yes, you're right. He did
die. He knew that Spider-Man was Peter Parker, and he did die. So
and he would have rounded out the Sinister Six.
Yeah. William Sorolis is full of knowledge tonight. Yes, William. Holland did have a Uncle Ben moment when he cooked that pot of rice. We're not going to get into that any further because that would spoil it for folks that hadn't seen. That's a major plot point, which made me cry.
Gosh, you're so sensitive.
I know.
I mean, Iron Man died, and I was like, it's about time. I hated that guy.
You did not love him, 3000.
No.
He hated him 3000. That's what it was.
He loved
I hated him. I did hate him. I hated him in Civil War. That movie, he was just reprehensible in that film.
Hey, Spider-Man 3 better than Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Dude, I think Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 3 is better than Iron Man 3.
Honey, I Shrunk Myself.
I think Ghostbusters 2016 is better than Iron Man 3.
No. No.
That is the glove hot take right there.
What are you talking about? That burned the glove.
That was
that singed the glove. It's gone.
Right? I liked Iron Man 3 as much as I liked Spider-Man Far From Home.
Wasn't that?
I think Iron Man 3 is better than the first two MCU Spider-Man.
Scary Movie 3, hey, 90 MFC. Scary Movie 3 is better than Iron Man 3.
Please 90, you have to say the catchphrase, man. Come on.
I was literally
just
watching
put a comment in there without telling everybody.
YouTube is 90.
The Extreme Nerd Table is 90.
But honestly, Scary Movie 3 is better because it has Pamela Anderson and Jenny McCarthy.
How did I know that?
In the beginning of the movie, yep. I
I
hadn't seen that movie in a while, and I put it on last night. And fun fact, it's when I started to like Kevin
You put Scary Movie 3 on last night?
I did. Sometimes I'll put
Seriously?
a movie on that I don't really want to pay attention to in the background, and then I'll play on my phone, and then I'll glance at the movie every once in a while, taking a break from a mini break from the phone back to the phone.
Hey, let me just say the best thing about Scary Movie 3 was the tagline. All great trilogies come in threes. That was the tagline.
Speaking of Scary Movie 3, I'm excited about Scream 5? Scream 5?
I have no interest in
Scream
that at all.
I loved
Scream.
I loved Scream 4, believe it or not.
I haven't seen
I'm
Scream.
curious.
I liked the first one, and then that was good enough for me.
But I'm curious to see how this is gonna go, man, because it's what is it? It's it's the almost cultish type, It already tells you.
I love the Scream movies.
Yeah,
My guilty pleasure. I don't care.
They're fun movies.
I mean, I just see it now.
I
Courtney Cox is gonna be having a walker going around in there.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Hey, she's got the knife.
Yeah. That's because that's what she looks like and sounds like.
If I ever get to make a Scream movie, I'm gonna call it Scream and Shout. There you go.
You mean a parody?
That would be like Rogers the musical.
I mean,
Scream and Shout. There you go.
Music by Ghostface Killer.
All right, so and, the other thing that I was gonna bring up was now CGC is offering free what was it graders notes now with everything they grade or whatever. So they're better late than never, right? Better late than never, pretty
way
much.
too late for that. That should have
good they're doing the free notes
Yeah.
because then they really need to make sure they're actually grading the books and looking at the books.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it free grading notes for like
Did
only
you see
older
smirk
books?
when he said that?
Yeah.
Huh?
I love that. That was awesome. They better be sure they really grade the books. I just like the way you said it. That was awesome.
Yeah. No, but I think I think it's interesting that now how many years has CBCS offered it, and now they're finally offering it to people. That should have been offered free way back when, man, and not now.
You gotta start sometime.
Right, but it should have been offered when they saw CBCS was offering it. You know what I mean? It should have been
done, but sometimes it takes a while to train.
Keep in mind, statistically, most new businesses, they go out of business within the first 3 years. So even that first year that CBCS came out, CGC was thinking they'll be gone in a few years. But the minute that what's the name of the company? Beckett. The minute that Beckett bought CBCS, immediately that's when everyone knew they're not going anywhere.
Right.
They're going to be around for a long time.
I think it's a little different. I think they were like, if people want them, they will pay for them. And a lot of people have been paying for them. Yeah. So there you go.
I mean, like CGC has new owners now, so like.
Oh, okay.
Jay-Z and his group. So yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I forgot about that. Yeah, we brought it up a couple of months ago. Yeah, I forgot about that.
They did a huge.
That might have a little something to do with that too.
They did a huge hiring, and they brought in so many people. One of the people that I used to work with over at CBCS, she originally worked at CGC. She originally worked at CGC. She quit. Then she got hired at CBCS. And then, of course, CBCS moved to Texas. So she didn't want to move to Texas. And then now she's back at CGC. So I'm crossing fingers, hoping that once CGC starts doing more conventions and they need people to work and help out at conventions, I'm hoping like I give her, I'll hit her up and say, hey, can you hook me up? Can you get me? No. It's not like that. She was one of my favorite people. She was one of the nicest people. Still is the nicest person, like working over at CBCS. And then I'm happy that she's back over at CGC.
He's gonna be like, so you wanna
you want to slab later?
All right, guys, we're running up on an hour.
Hey, let's. William Sorolis asked if we were talking about George Perez. We actually talked about George Perez early in the webcast, and we also talked about him at length last week. William, please watch the replay. We talked about our meeting him, or some of us meeting him. We talked about his influence. And again, I'm going to tell everybody, including Daryl holding up that DC shit. George Perez worked for Marvel 5.5 years before ever going to DC. So if you want to really see George Perez in his formidable time at Marvel, Fantastic Four, Avengers, Marvel 2-in-1, a bunch of random covers, random issues. He did 5.5 years at Marvel before ever doing even one DC book. Everybody talks about Teen Titans and Wonder Woman and Crisis and JLA and Avengers. That's great. But go check out his work. He was Rich Buckler's apprentice. Rich Buckler didn't want to do Fantastic Four anymore. And he said, hey, George, you want to draw Fantastic Four? And he's like, yup. And then they said, wow, George, you're real fast. You want to do the Avengers? He's like, yup. George Perez never turned down a comic book job, just like Randall will never turn down a McRib. So,
hey, by the way,
fucking
I do, because those things are freaking amazing.
Go check out George's early work and then go right up to Crimson Plague and Sirens and all his indie stuff that he self-published.
Yeah,
Perez
is real good, though.
And by the way,
hot take. George Perez is the McRib of comics.
That's right. Yeah, but George Perez, whatever. George Perez.
I know. I have a feeling I know what you were going to say.
George Perez for life. And everybody pray for George Perez, because guess what?
Yeah.
He said he's got 6 months to a year to live. I'm calling fake news, George Perez. You need to live for another 5 years. And everybody, any of those scientists who are also comic book fans, let's come up with a cure for cancer really quick so George Perez can keep attending cons. Also, fix his fucked up eye so he can draw again.
Yeah, but the big thing is that he's still going to be surprising people at shops and cons, wherever he's going to be, man, because that's what he's been doing the last 2 days that I've seen on Instagram. Like, people are bringing pictures up, and he's surprising people at like shops and cons. So,
and William, the best story was that Jeff met George Perez while working a fetish con.
Yeah,
as a bodyguard for a strip club.
Yep.
So go put that in your pipe and smoke it.
by working at the FeshCon, he paid to get in. That's what we're trying to say.
And actually, William, we are thankful that you did survive and that you're still here.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're hoping that for George too, man. If anything.
Let's hope that there's a very wealthy billionaire out there that's a huge George Perez fan.
Yeah, I mean, hey, George, draw me a commission and I'll cure you.
Exactly. Well, let's hope that they are willing to turn him into the first actual bionic man. Let's.
He created Cyborg.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they can turn him into Cyborg.
That's that DC crap.
So, that's right.
Yeah. Just looking over there with that ball right there next to your mouth.
Hey, real quick, George Perez. I know you want to end, Jeff, but since we got on George Perez, not literally like you did at the Fetish Con. But, what's your favorite? What's your favorite George Perez creation, if you know any?
Deathstroke, mine.
Starfire for me.
Tell me something Marvel, so that way I can say that, so you won't be mad.
I don't remember. He created a character called White Wolf or something. I don't know.
There you go, White Wolf. There.
I suppose I'd have to go with Deathstroke because that's the only one I can think of.
He created Cyborg, Deathstroke,
Nightwing?
Starfire, Raven,
Mm-hmm.
Lilith,
Yeah.
and
I've always,
Jericho.
If he created Ray
50
Ray, I'll
characters.
definitely go Ray Ray.
mhm.
Jericho.
Really,
Deathstroke's
Chris
the-
Jericho?
that's the only one I
Yes.
think I like the most. I guess.
Y2J.
And he created, by the way, the Vigilante.
Oh
That's gonna be in the Peacemaker series. Vigilante. He
That's
gets gets money from that.
Spoiler.
It's not a spoiler, it's in the credits.
No, I didn't
I
see
have a
it.
feeling 2022 is going to be a really good year for the comic book genre, for films and television. It's going to be a huge year, and it's great that technically Spider-Man No Way Home is going to help start that. Even though it's ending 2021, it's going to lap over, and it's going to give that 2022 beginning a boost.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. I'm gonna be ending it now and see what you guys are. What are you guys gonna be up to this weekend? Since it's gonna be Christmas weekend. So, what you up to, D?
I got nothing going on. Probably do some. Maybe try to get another disc golf video in. Just posted some this weekend, and what else is going on? I'm trying to get my origin story started again, so that might be coming up. And other things, surprise, no spoilers.
And then what you got going on, Rendo? Since it's Christmas weekend.
Well, I just want to point out how I can't believe that Dee didn't mention that he's going to be delivering all those toys to the children on Christmas Day.
Again, spoiler, man. Did you not hear me say no spoilers?
No, I didn't.
I literally said no spoilers.
Randall's going to be going to see 20 more movies by next week.
Yeah.
No. This
With a
week,
McRib at each one.
thankfully I have Christmas off, so I might hang out with friends on Christmas Day. I do plan to go see The Kingsman and The Matrix in theaters this week. Catching up on the books and orders. Like I mentioned earlier, I've got the shipment literally sitting in the car. So when I get done here, I'm going to be taking it out of the car. I'm going to be doing the inventory and making sure everything's there and it's in good shape. So same old, just work plus a little bit of fun.
His car has a BCW logo on it, by the way. It's just a long box with wheels.
Pretty much, yeah.
That actually sounds kind of cool.
All right, what you got going on, Anthony? So what's from Venerella? What's going on with
Venerella's at the printer. I'm just waiting to get it back. So hopefully after Christmas, I'll be able to stick it in the mail. I'm currently writing my screenplay for Blackface Panther 2. And Misty America 2 is coming in February. So that's all I got going on, man. I'm taking a break. I haven't drawn anything in like a week. I'm starting to get itchy. And it's Christmas.
Wait, you forgot to mention, man. You forgot to mention that on Christmas Eve, you got 3 of your buddies coming by to visit you.
3 of my buddies.
Oh, come on, you get that joke.
Okay. Anyway,
past, present, and future.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the guys who were delivering the frankincense and myrrh, but whatever.
Yeah, definitely not them.
No, this ain't Goodfellas.
Wow. All I know is, don't you think when Mary told Joseph that she was pregnant, yet she was a virgin, don't you think Joseph got a little suspicious when 3 guys came by bearing gifts?
You know how I know he didn't get suspicious? Because he believed the world was flat. He thought he's one of those like flat earthers, so he doesn't believe in science.
Well, back then, everybody I think thought the Earth was flat.
All right. So we're gonna have Extreme Nerd Table after Christmas Day. So it's gonna be a Sunday, but I'm gonna try to do Kentini's Comic Wednesdays if I don't get stuck at work for 3 hours, 3 hours of overtime or whatever it is.
Sir,
I'm not-
please don't make excuses.
I'm not making excuses. Tired. And then nobody uses my damn. Nobody uses the thing when I ask them to say something in Cantonese. So
You should make a list. By the
You
way,
can
Jeff,
easily
list.
go see Chinese-speaking vampires
There
Yeah.
you go.
if you'd
You
like
should
to.
make a list. You should make a list of all the words people have requested. So that
then
way, 'cause I think you know what it is?
nobody's used it. That's the problem.
No, there's been a couple people that have said, hey, what's
Couple
this word?
couple, but I'm
Yeah.
saying nobody actually uses the
Yeah.
couple.
The
Not
thing-
a not. Well, I want
the
more
thing
than
I'm
a
worried
couple.
Yeah, the thing I'm worried about is like saying, "Hey, Jeff, what's this word in Cantonese?" And you're like, "Somebody's already requested that."
Yeah, but I don't
Like,
mind
I've
repeating
already
it
done
because
a video saying. What
I
it
don't
was.
mind repeating it because sometimes you guys listen to it, but sometimes it don't. You know what I mean? That doesn't set right sometimes, so I can always repeat it. That's not an issue. It's that as
Okay.
long as more people use the poll when I put it out, it would be nice.
So how about this? Holiday edition Cantonese Comic Wednesday.
Please tell me I heard
Anthony's
that.
going to give you a word. I'm going to give you a word, and then Daryl's going to give you a word.
That's fine.
To
As
be
long as I put
fair, I'm
only
at
gonna give you a
work
word
and
if
I
you
always
don't-
forget.
if you don't put your poll out.
Yeah.
All right, so Anthony, what word do you want Jeff?
No, as long as you guys put it in that poll. If I put that poll out this week, just put it in that poll.
I'm going to give it to you right now.
Stop putting your poll out.
So everybody watching, when Jeff puts his poll out,
Yes.
make sure you grab it
Yes.
and write a word in it.
Yes.
Mhm.
How about the word poll?
Yes.
That's a.
I don't understand.
I'm trying to think like what word I would want to know in Cantonese.
How to say rando in Cantonese, or how to say rando loves McRibs in Cantonese?
Vagina.
No.
How about vagina?
Actually,
How about-
Hialeah's actually asked that one before.
I bet.
How about
Ball gag.
I want to know how to say Sarah Frazetta.
All right, guys. We'll check you guys next
It's
weekend. We'll see
it's
you
a
guys
swing.
later. We'll see you guys later.
dang?